If you tell one of your friends the title of the book, Think and Grow Rich, they might laugh and say, that's complete nonsense. If all I had to do is thinking, I would be a millionaire. The reality is though, the only way to grow rich is by thinking, and thinking is the hardest part. Have you ever witnessed a situation when someone achieves success early in life and everyone else immediately judges? They say stuff like, if my parents were rich, I'll be successful as well, or he got lucky selling notebooks. Well, the reality is that selling notebooks, for example, is easy, and you can do it too. But how come some people make it and become rich, and some people don't? When you think about it, you might realize that there is a lot of thinking involved in the process of something simple as selling notebooks. Distribution channels, pricing, marketing, product design, and so on. And above all, the mentality of the entrepreneur. So what does it take to get rich? There's no magic recipe. But after interviewing more than 500 wealthy and successful people, including the likes of Thomas Edison, John Rockefeller, and Henry Ford, Napoleon Hill identified key characteristics that the most successful people share. 1. Think success by default. If you want to achieve big, you need to think big. You need to be more success conscious and a lot less failure conscious. It is so simple that most people miss it. You have to focus on one single purpose, have an all-consuming desire, and be persistent and never give up. The book gives us an example of a man who had the purpose of finding gold. So you can tell it's a little bit of an old book. But after discovering some gold, the person raised money, he bought machinery, and labored to extract more gold. Unfortunately for him, after much work, the effort came up empty. So he quit and sold the machinery he had bought to a junk man. Now, this man had the machinery to sell. Still, before doing so, he decided to hire an engineer who told him that the gold was just 3 feet away from when the first man had stopped drilling. In the end, the quote-unquote junk man made a fortune because the first man failed to persist. Looking back, it seems obvious that the first man should have never stopped drilling. And talking about obvious things, you should obviously smash that like button to help this summary reach even more people. Now, back to the story. There are several hurdles to success consciousness, such as our human tendency to believe that difficult things are impossible, or our tendency to measure everything by our own personal experience, which for instance makes poor people believe that they'll never be rich. The key to overcoming these hurdles is to take control of your mind by occupying it with your defined purpose. Take Steve Jobs for example. In an interview back in 2007, Bill Gates talked about how Steve Jobs wanted the Apple II computer to be a mass market machine. Not only could no one envision that at the time, but also Apple's previous project had been a failure. Still, Steve Jobs alongside his team focused on a single purpose, made achieving it their all-consuming desire, and never gave up. The rest is history. The second thing that Napoleon Hill discovered is to have an all-consuming desire. One of the most important steps to achieve greatness is to have an all-burning desire. Hopes or wishes aren't enough. You need to put them to work. You need to go so far that you burn so many bridges that there's no way for you to go back. However, just like the best snipers in the world need a clear target to shoot, you need a clear goal. So what is your desire? Let's say, for example, it's money. Here's how you turn your desire into reality. Number 1, set a specific amount of money you want. Not a lot of money, not big amounts of money, but a specific number. Is it a million, a billion, whatever it is, specific number. Number 2, decide on what you're willing to sacrifice. Getting the money might not mean that you're gonna get everything else in life. Number 3, set a specific date. Not sometime in the future, specific date. March 1st, 2031, whatever it is, specific date. 4, create a plan and start right away. Not tomorrow, right away. 5, write all of this in one sentence. And 6, read that sentence out loud every morning and every night. That last step is known as visualization, or as the author prefers to call it, auto-suggestion. This technique consists of telling yourself that you'll succeed, and envisioning it will give you the confidence to tackle the next challenge. Need some steps? Here they are. Once you set a clear goal following the 6 steps we just discussed to turn your all-consuming desire into reality, Start visualizing. Start by visualizing the goal itself. Where are you? Where are you when you succeed? What are the challenges you're likely to face? And then imagine that you've already have everything you desire. If it's money, for instance, imagine you've already have it in your bank account. You open your bank account, the money is just there. When you use this auto-suggestion technique, you will trigger your subconscious mind to deliver the plans to get to your goal. Which brings us to point number 3, the subconscious mind. The subconscious mind is the guiding force of your entire life. Still, most people ignore it. Its power is so strong that when it accepts an idea, it begins to execute it. And even if you don't control it, it can collect negative information and block your creative imagination from functioning. The good news is, your subconscious mind cannot hold both positive and negative emotions at the same time. One will dominate. So it's up to you to make sure that your subconscious mind is filled with your all-burning desire, and that will be your first step to changing your life. The next piece of the puzzle is overcoming fear. Everyone fears something. Regardless of what challenge you have, fear is natural to human nature. Very often though, fear will lead to doubt and indecision, which will stop you from acting. And the fears you don't face become your limits. Therefore, it is absolutely crucial to control and eliminate them if you stand any chance to achieving your goal. And in general, there are 6 categories of fear. Category number 1 is poverty. The fear of poverty can stop you from taking risks that might lead you to that poverty. Society feeds this fear by idolizing rich people. Even on social networks, those who display the riches tend to have millions and billions of followers. Is this your biggest fear? Some of the symptoms of fear of poverty include lack of ambition, indecisiveness, or worry about financial means. Number 2 is criticism. The fear of criticism will not only stop you from acting, but it can stop you from changing your bad decisions. For instance, someone who marries the wrong person can be afraid of other people's criticism if they change their decision. Remember that we all criticize other people. Still, nobody likes to be criticized, and often our loved ones can be the worst offenders. Number 3, illness. The fear of illness is natural to human beings. It is an obvious fear. However, the negative thoughts associated with the fear of illness can damage your health. Doctors and scientists agree that one's attitude can impact your health either in a positive or in a negative way. Number 4, loss of a loved one. The fear of losing a loved one is the most emotionally painful of fears and can manifest itself in jealousy. 5, old age. The fear of being old is associated with the fear of losing physical and economic freedom and even your sexual attractiveness. This fear leads many people to slow down and not enjoy their youth, even when they have it. Like most fears, this is totally irrational. And the reality is that some of our most useful years are later in life. And number 6, death. Even though fearing death is absolutely totally pointless, the reason why most people fear death is because of the unknown of the afterlife. And I'm sorry to break it to you, but that will come regardless whether you think about it or not, so don't let this stop you from living your actual life. Thankfully though, these fears are states of minds and you can control or completely eliminate them. It's up to you to decide to replace these fears with alternative thinking. For instance, if you fear illness, focus on what you can do to stay healthy, like exercising, not smoking, or eating well. Or if you fear criticism, decide not to care what other people think, because your decision is ultimately the one that matters the most. And now, what is your overriding desire? What one thing do you want more than anything else, and what are you willing to do to get it? Whatever it might be, whether it's money, a career goal, a bigger house, a person, let your subconscious mind do the heavy lifting by steering it in the right direction. And don't let your fears stop you from achieving greatness. Find your fire, don't be afraid to burn bridges, especially those that deserve to be burned. And in Napoleon Hill's words, if defeat comes, accept it as a signal that your plans are not sound. Rebuild those plans and set sail once more towards your goal. Now let's see how you can implement all of this greatness into your life.